15 Terrifying Deep Woods Disappearances. Number 15. Missing 411. David Paulides is an American former police officer who is now an investigator and writer known primarily for his books dedicated to proving the reality of Bigfoot and establishing the Missing 411 conspiracy theory. Missing 411 is a series of self-published books and films, which document cases of people who have gone missing in national parks and elsewhere, and assert that circumstances surrounding these cases are unusual and mysterious, although data analysis suggests that the disappearances themselves are not statistically significant or particularly unusual. Number 14. Yuba County 5. The Yuba County Five were young men from Yuba County, California, United States, each with mild intellectual disabilities or psychiatric conditions, who were reported missing after attending a college basketball game at California State University, Chico, also known as Chico State, on the night of February 24, 1978. Four of them, Bill Sterling, 29, Jack Hewitt, 24, Ted Whiter, 32, and Jack Madruga, 30, were later found dead. The fifth, Gary Mathias, 25, has never been found. Several days after their disappearance, Madruga's car, a 1969 Mercury Montego the group drove to Chico, was found abandoned in a remote area of Plumas National Forest, on a high mountain dirt road far out of their way back to Yuba County. Investigators could not determine why the car was abandoned, as it was in good working order and could easily have been pushed out of the snowpack it was in. At that time, no trace of the men was found. Number 13. Dyatlov Pass Incident. The Dyatlov Pass Incident, Russian, Romanized, Gibraltar-Gruppy Dyatlova, lit. Death of the Dyatlov Hiking Group, was an event in which 9 Soviet ski hikers died in the northern part of the Ural Mountains Ridge in the Russian SFSR of the Soviet Union on 1 or February 2, 1959 under undetermined circumstances. The experienced trekking group from the Ural Polytechnical Institute, led by Igor Dyatlov, went on a hike of the highest difficulty level at that time, and had established a camp on the eastern slopes of Kolit-Syakhl Mountain. Overnight, the group cut their way out of their tent with knives and fled the campsite, inadequately dressed for the heavy snowfall, strong winds and extreme cold temperatures as low as 40 C, 40 F. After the group's bodies were discovered, an investigation by Soviet authorities determined that 6 of them had died from hypothermia while the other 3 had been killed by physical trauma. One victim had major skull damage, 2 had severe chest trauma, and another had a small crack in his skull. Number 12. Disappearance of Maura Murray. On February 9, 2004, Maura Murray, a 21-year-old nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, disappeared after a single-vehicle crash on Route 112 near Woodsville, a village in the town of Haverhill, New Hampshire, United States. Earlier that afternoon, she had emailed her professors and work supervisor to say she would be away for a week due to a death in the family, which her relatives later said had not occurred. Murray left campus in her car and drove north for reasons that remain unknown. At 7:27 p.m., a local resident reported a car off the road near her home. A passing motorist briefly spoke with the driver, who declined assistance and said she had already called for help. Number 11. Disappearance of Tara Calico. Tara Lee Calico, born February 28, 1969, is an American woman who disappeared near her home in Belen, New Mexico, on September 20, 1988. She is widely believed to have been kidnapped. In July 1989, a Polaroid photo of an unidentified young woman and boy, gagged and seemingly bound, was televised to the public after it was found in a convenience store parking lot in Port St. Joe, Florida. Family friends thought the woman resembled Calico and contacted her mother, who then met with investigators and examined the Polaroid. Number 10. Disappearance of Brandon Swanson. Shortly after midnight on May 14, 2008, Brandon Swanson, born January 30, 1989, of Marshall, Minnesota, United States, drove his car into a ditch on his way home from celebrating the end of the spring semester with fellow students from Minnesota West Community and Technical College's Canby campus. Uninjured, he got out and called his parents on his cell phone. Unsure of his exact location, he told them he believed he was near Lind, and they drove out to pick him up. However, they were unable to locate him or his vehicle. Swanson remained on the phone with them until he went silent 47 minutes later after exclaiming, "Oh, shit." He has not been seen or heard from since. In the morning, Swanson's parents reported him missing to police, who advised them to wait as such behavior was not uncommon for young men his age. Number 9. Disappearance of Brian Schaefer. In the early hours of April 1, 2006, Brian Randall Schaefer, a 27-year-old medical student at the Ohio State University College of Medicine, disappeared in Columbus, Ohio, United States. He had spent the previous night, March 31, having drinks with friends at a campus area bar to mark the start of spring break. He later became separated from them, and they assumed he had gone home. Security footage from outside the second-floor entrance recorded Schaefer briefly speaking with two women just before 2 a.m. before walking out of frame. Number 8. Disappearance of Lars Mittank. Lars Joachim Mittank, born February 9, 1986, is a German man who disappeared on July 8, 2014, near Varna Airport in Varna, Bulgaria. Mittank was on holiday at the Golden Sands Resort, where he was supposedly involved in a fight, and was unable to fly home with his friends for health reasons. Mittank was documented acting strangely while alone in Bulgaria. He called home to his mother claiming that people were trying to kill him. On the day when he was supposed to fly home, Mittank went to the Varna airport to consult with a doctor. Number 7. Disappearance of Sneha and Philip. On the night of September 10, 2001, Sneha and Philip, a 31-year-old physician living in Lower Manhattan, disappeared after being seen on department store surveillance footage near her apartment. She has not been seen since. Because she lived close to the World Trade Center and had medical training, her family believes she died the following morning while assisting victims of the September 11 attacks. Two investigations reached different conclusions about her fate. A private inquiry commissioned by her husband ultimately concluded she most likely died in the attacks, while a later New York City Police Department investigation examined difficulties in her personal life and suggested that other explanations, including voluntary disappearance or foul play, were also possible. Number 6. Springfield 3. The Springfield 3 refers to an unsolved missing persons case that began on June 7, 1992. When friends Suzanne Elizabeth Susie Streeter and Stacy Kathleen McCall, and Streeter's mother, Cheryl Elizabeth Levitt, went missing from Levitt's home in Springfield, Missouri, United States. All of their personal belongings, including cars and purses, were left behind. There were no signs of a struggle except a broken porch light globe. There was also a message on the answering machine that police believe might have provided a clue about the disappearances, but it was inadvertently erased. In 1997, Robert Craig Cox, a convicted kidnapper and robber, claimed that he knew the women had been murdered and that their bodies would never be recovered. Neither their whereabouts nor their remains have ever been discovered. Number 5. Beaumont children disappearance. Jane Narter Beaumont, born September 10, 1956, Arna Kathleen Beaumont, born November 11, 1958, and Grant Ellis Beaumont, born July 12, 1961, collectively referred to as the Beaumont children, were three Australian siblings who disappeared from Glenelg Beach near Adelaide, South Australia, on January 26, 1966, Australia Day, in an unsolved disappearance case and a suspected abduction and murder. Police investigations revealed that, on the day of their disappearance, several witnesses had seen the three children on and near Glenelg Beach in the company of a tall man with fairish to light brown hair and a thin face with a suntan complexion and medium build, in his mid-30s. Confirmed sightings of the children occurred at the Collie Reserve and at Wenzel's Cake Shop on Mosley Street, Glenelg. Despite numerous searches, neither the children nor their suspected companion were located. The case received worldwide attention and is credited with causing a change in Australian lifestyles, since parents began to believe that their children could no longer be presumed to be safe when unsupervised in public. Number 4. Sodder children disappearance. Early Christmas morning, December 25, 1945, a fire destroyed the Sodder residence in Fayetteville, West Virginia, United States. At the time, it was occupied by George Sodder, his wife Jenny, and 9 of their 10 children. During the fire, George, Jenny, and 4 of the 9 children escaped. The bodies of the other 5 children have never been found. The surviving Sodder family believed for the rest of their lives that the 5 missing children survived. Number 3. Boy in the Box, Philadelphia. Joseph Augustus Sorelli, January 13, 1953 – February 1957, previously known as the Boy in the Box, the Boy in a Box or America's Unknown Child, was an American 4-year-old male whose nude, malnourished and beaten body was found on the side of Susquehanna Road, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, on February 25, 1957. Sorelli appeared to have been cleaned and freshly groomed, with a recent haircut and trimmed fingernails, although he had suffered extensive physical attacks prior to his death, with multiple bruises on his body. He was also severely malnourished. His body was covered with scars, some of which were surgical, most notably on his ankle, groin and